Welcome back, YouTube. So I've been getting a lot of questions and comments asking how low can Dogecoin go? Like, where is the bottom? Like, what's going on? So in this video, I'm going to give you the only three numbers you need for this point in the cycle to get an idea of where the resistance is going to be and where can we expect bounces from. And as always, I'm going to give you the facts and I'm going to show you on the chart so that way you can have some confirmation for yourself or go fact check me and double check for yourself. As always, there will be no fluff. So those numbers are 16 cent, 12 cent, and 6 cent. And allow me to explain why. Let's take a look at the charts here. So this is the 1 day. Of course, we have some dipping down here, but we're going to take a broader look out. Let's take a look at the 1 year because that should be sufficient. Where are we stopping right now? This is not a coincidence where we are now. We have hit this point many times over the course since our all-time high. This here technically is our pretty much our hard floor as far as for rebounding or the extent of the curve so far. We're going to get into those ranges and why it's the 12 cents and the 6 cents in a moment. But as far as for Dogecoin at this point in the cycle, this is where we see the strongest resistance is that 16 cents to 19 cents. That's that floor. We can overshoot the equilibrium very briefly, but normally even before there's like a catalyst or major cash coming in or institutions putting money back in, we typically will rest right around this point. If you take a look at the chart here, I have an index and you can see that there's a line, that dotted line going across is at 18 cents. And you can see typically we have a lot of resistance when we overshoot that 25 cents and break out the 20s. You can see that we are right in a line with where we have historically gotten resistance from. We've occasionally touched down the 16s. I know we had like a flash down to like 13, I believe, but we occasionally touch down the 16 and then we usually get a rally or even some just resistance if we just pause there. That is where that first floor comes from. Now, if you do any TA or any charting on the crypto market, you'll know that especially the coins in the top 10, they're going to follow Bitcoin very closely, even more so than the ones that are like number 50 or so. You'll typically get a reaction, but the ones in the top 10 are going to follow very closely, right? So Bitcoin historically will know that on the more aggressive side of a correction or a crypto winter, we'll know that you can get 80 to 90% falls from your all-time high. And if you take Dogecoin into account and say the all-time high was around 72 cents, that will put Dogecoin at a historic rebound area of around 12 cents on the more extreme side. So that is where that second number comes from. And that means that we will pretty much get some resistance if we break through the floor now, right around here at 12 cents. Now, when we're talking about numbers and being below the floor, you'll have to understand that the other factor in here is that there's this large gap up that is from around the 5 to 6 range that we had all the way to around 36 cents, which is pretty much in line to where we are now because we technically have not went back down that far. We haven't broken through this floor here. It's held up since our all-time high rally in our correction. So the thing is with a gap up, that means that we pretty much had the volume, and I know there was a lot of catalysts coming out. This was around April. So there was a lot of volume and catalysts coming out. So we had a gap up. At that point, people are like, we're betting on Dogecoin. It's going to the moon. We're in. So which is great if you're in the position prior and they say, okay, wow, this thing is going to shoot up and you get to go to the next level and establish new floors. However, wherever that gap at from where you are currently resting to the point of resistance and when people take profits after that, there's not going to be any support. That means theoretically from 6 cents to pretty much the floor that we've established now, which is like around the 16 cents, 18 cents area, there isn't any support. That 12 cents is just historic because that's typically where when people are investing in crypto and they want to turn profits at around 80 to 90% off. At that point, if you're an investor, you start saying that, okay, at this point, this is 80% below its all-time high, 90% below its all-time high. So at this point, you can safely say, okay, well, this is obviously oversold. And even if I don't believe it's going to go to the moon, I can expect to make money from here just because it's 80 to 90% off of a lot of the levels that it has previously touched. And it has many support levels and its equilibrium is actually resting higher than its current price right now. So I will take a position. That will normally take place at around the 12 cents mark. However, when you see here, there isn't any support. So even from the 12 cents, you know that the next level of support that we've pretty much had that sideways trend is around the 5 to 6 mark. So that's where that last number comes in for 6, saying that if for whatever reason the catalyst or the institutions or there's some type of panic and people pull out at around the 16 cents and we go into a free fall, we can expect there to be some resistance at around the 5 to 6 range here. Now, why are these numbers important at this point in the cycle? These numbers are extremely important because you need to use these numbers, and in my opinion, this is what I'm doing. Use these numbers to increase your coin count. Especially if you're long term on Dogecoin, and you know that because there's some catalyst going on right now about liquidations and why certain hedge funds, etc., are pulling money out of the stock market and out of the crypto market. I believe now we've had pretty much over $250 billion come out of the crypto market just like that. It's just like a repeat of May. And for whatever reason, they try and convince us that, there's nothing wrong. It's retail money and it's panic and it's not hedge funds or people meeting their requirements. They just think that we're stupid. But that's another catalyst. But these numbers are important because you need to know when you're going to increase your position, when you're going to um, start that averaging down. Because a lot of times the majority of people, because I believe that the FOMO and stuff of Dogecoin, it came in after this initial gap up, right? So I can't say it won't get down that low because God knows what type of catalyst or what type of money that they can push out. Excuse me, what type of catalyst they can come up with to drive the price down. But the majority of the people that are in Dogecoin did not either have the opportunity or they weren't in the position at around these levels. So for people to buy Dogecoin, in the teens, this is technically what a lot of them were saying like 4 months ago, saying that, oh my God, I should have got in at 16 cents versus 40. And you're technically getting a second chance to make that happen. Now, again, I want everyone to make their own decisions, but when you see this and you have the equilibrium and you see that historically, like if you're looking at the line here, like this doesn't, it's not rocket science as far as looking at this part of TA, you can see that there is some support here. And this would be technically based off of the chart here. This would be a great time to make entries. But I'm telling you right now, for me, because I said that I'll be a buyer in anything in the teens, 19 cents and below. I'm a buyer, and that is remaining true. But I'm telling you right now, if this thing breaks this floor here and we get around that 12 cents, or even because the majority of my DCA is around the 5 cents. I bought some at 2 cents, but the majority of my DCA is at the 5 cent mark. And I'm telling you right now, if we break below that and I can have an opportunity to increase my coin count, because the thing about it is when you have these coins and you say that I want it to go to the moon, what is the spread from 15 cents to 30 cents? That's 100%, right? So at 30 cents, you're at 100% profit and you're less than half of the all-time high, right? At 5 cents, what's the spread to 72 cents or, just historically here, 25 to 30 cents? You're looking at 6x return, 600%, and you're still less than 50% of the all-time high. These are the kind of positions that I want to be in. Again, you do your own due diligence, make your own decisions. This is just my opinion looking at this. But I believe we're going to need like a major catalyst to break this floor down, or some major sellouts, even more by the institutions to get this down toward those other two numbers. But for right now, you need to memorize 16, 12, and 6. These numbers, like anytime you're around these numbers, or especially in between, especially if we break this floor here, that is a great time to, if you have the money, I would say it's a great time to average down and get that coin count up. Because sometimes you'll see people saying that, okay, if it gets to 40 cents again, I'm going to sell, or I'm tired of waiting. And that's fine. Some people are impatient with the movements. But what I'm saying is, if you understand the power of averaging down and your DCA is 40 cents or something like that, and the price right now is 16, 17 cents, that's more than 50% cheaper than your current Dogecoin. You can quickly cut down your DCA and be able to make an exit much sooner if you want to get out. That is how you move your money around the stock market, around the crypto market, without taking a loss every time you move a position if it doesn't work out. This is why you don't go all in and you leave some money on the table. It gives you options. It gives you that leverage to manipulate the position to your advantage. I'll be tracking these numbers, of course, as we move forward. And if we get some catalyst and if we're able to push down and maintain below this current level of support, of course, I'll announce that and then announce what I'm doing as well. But as of right now, you can see over the course of time, this line, this where we are now is actually pretty solid. We've had several floors coming down, several floors going up. And honestly, that's what you want because that maintains the health of a position long term. You don't want you don't want a series of gap ups because that way you don't know where to where to expect increasing your DCA, where to expect making an entry. You pretty much be having to take a stab in the dark. But because we have these positions and you're able to look at the chart and say, okay, well, what is most likely to happen? Nothing is 100%, but these types of things can give you an idea of what to expect going forward if we were to get those resistance levels. Before I go, I want to thank this video sponsor, BlockFi. I have a link in the description. You get up to $250 if you open an account with them and are able to pretty much earn interest on your crypto paid out by some of the top cryptos of your choice. If you'd like to hear more from me, please hit the subscribe button. You can always change your mind later, and also like the video so that this video can get shared to more people on YouTube and we can grow as a community, not only in numbers, but in knowledge. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. And until next time.